Top of the gimmicks. Top of the gimmicks. I can't click.
See,
Top
I
of the
didn't do
gimmicks.
this.
Top of the gimmicks. Top of the gimmicks.
There you go.
Yeah, the Creepy and the Crawley, the commentators of Foley. I don't know where I'm going with this. Fuck it. I'm Rob Campbell.
I'm your bastard, Craig Challoner.
Daniel, I don't turn up anymore. Cornfield could not be here, sadly, with us today. I hope chopping the chicken is going well.
Unfortunately, someone needs to cut that chicken, and Daniel is the man.
If you'd like to cut chicken with Daniel Cornfield, you can write into us at hot tag reviews 420 at mail.com or get in touch with us on any of the gimmicks. All there for you. Can't make it easier than that, folks.
Like, how much more can we do for you people? It's there.
Today,
Whatever.
the wheel, Craig. You take it. In fact, why am I presenting here for it? It's a two-man booth. I've overstepped my mark. I apologise. You're the lead here. I'm colour. I get it. We've just finished pay-per-view review. Maybe I haven't talked enough on SummerSlam '98. Clearly,
Which
you know I love the sound of my own voice.
we will talk about in the future,
Of course we will. Of course we will.
and
You'll
then
see
come
that
back.
sometime down the road.
Yeah, that we will talk about it
Also,
later,
watch it.
and then watch it. Yeah, because I mean, you could join us on Spotify if you want. I don't know how much longer. We're heads up. But...
Yeah, we're heads up, mate. We're trying to find a new supply thing, but the one that we currently use is dying. So
yeah,
it hasn't got
they
long to
decided
live.
to live. Hey
Jack
ho,
Bauer's on the case, but it's not going well.
we'll tick out eventually. So while we're here, we spun a wheel. Did we spin it on the show? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
The last gimmick, there was some in that wheel. That wheel did a little turny, and it landed on top 5 commentators.
Mm-hmm.
Now we had a which way do you go on this, don't we? Really? Because do you go play by play and color? Do you just go play by play? Do you just go color? Do you just feel what? Just go with what you feel. Personally, I went more play by play, and I left color as honorables.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay.
But everyone knows what I'm like with my lists.
Yeah.
And I have informed Robert that I only did my list today.
Yeah,
which obviously will not fit well with me at some point in the future. But it is what
probably
it is.
in the
It's
next
been done.
5 minutes.
As I'm about to read them, I can see them on my screen. Probably going to start going.
No, I'm going to
okay.
swap in with number 10 on my honourable mention list.
But no, we're okay. We're going to do this. We have got Don's top 5 as well. There they are. Don's sent his top 5 in to us. We'll save them till the end, and we'll just reel the 5-1 off with Don, so that we don't just drop them in between and go, oh, here we go, Don said this. So, Robert, I do believe you may know my number 5.
Okay.
So do you want me to kick this one off this week, and then you can shit on it and then jump in with yourself?
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay. So my number 5 is going to seem like an odd one for a lot of folk, for a huge majority of folk, to be honest. My number 5 is Matt Striker. Now, Mr. Matthew Striker obviously did not do well in the WWE as a commentator, but I think it was more down to the people he was around and was around him, because they was not fans of the man. But you listen to that man on commentary, he brought something different. He brought a level of knowledge to that table that wasn't there, and it was fucking good. If you like knowing all those extra bits, all that extra stats and everything. Now, obviously, he got moved aside in WWE and sent back in, unfortunately, but he did go to Lucha Underground, and there he got to literally be himself and be him and put it all out there, and he was fucking great. Him next to Vampiro is my little colour nod. Sitting next to Vampiro on this, it was fucking good because they could play off it, completely. He could be a character and at the same time bring it back and give you that true feel of wrestling and give you those true stats and facts on everything that was going on as is happening. And we all know I like facts and stats. So,
Apparently
yeah,
so.
my number 5 is one Matthew Striker.
You know, in 2008, Matt Stryker won the Best Television Announcer Award.
Wow.
In 2008. That's crazy. What a
Go.
stat that is for you, Craig.
Go, Matthew. Thanks for that stat, too.
Okay. I'm going to go the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I'm going to absolutely do this for not only a rib, but for... I don't care. All right, I'm doing it.
Do it.
And I'm going to throw it out there because I just don't care. But I thought, I think, especially at WrestleMania 9, he was great.
Who are you going for, Robert?
I am going for the world-renowned rap star. I am going for the man that told Hulk Hogan to be a man. I am putting in my top 5 the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, too bad. And you know why I'm doing it. You know why? Because I thought he was dead good in the early days of Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, right? 2 voices made that program to begin with. Yeah, you tuned in every week. Manhattan Center, Vince McMahon, Macho Man Randy Savage were a go, and that team was actually okay. And you know what? Vince McMahon, he gets an honourable mention for me. He's not making my top 5. I'm not going to lie to you. But do you know what? He was the commentator of my childhood to an extent.
Yeah.
2 others that probably will be in my list, spoiler alert, are also voices of my childhood. But Randy Savage, if I'm picking out the 2 of them, again, he's just got that voice, hasn't he? Vince McMahon, he'd got the commentator voice. He put it on. What about Hoover? And, fucking 1, 2, all of the gimmicks with Vince McMahon. But Randy Savage was Randy Savage. Yeah. And he was great on the mic, always great on the mic. Could always cut a good promo. Yeah, coked off his tits, whatever. But even at the commentary table, when he wanted to be in the ring so badly, he'd give his best. Macho Man Randy Savage, number 5.
I mean, up until that point at the end when you said at the commentary table, he always gave his best, because we all know at WrestleMania 9, he was kind of like there just shitting on everything.
Because he weren't in the ring, you've got to.
I've got no problem with this.
He's salty, ain't he? At WrestleMania 9.
Oh, definitely. Like, refused to speak to Jim Ross. Yeah. Like, Jim would go, okay, so if I lead this, you go with that. And he's like, yeah. And then he'd throw something else. Then Jim would go, okay, I'll run with it. Much went, nah, no. And then went somewhere else. It was fucking dead. He literally gave him too bad. Oh, mate, I'm not mad at your number 5. Not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
Who's your number 4?
Who's Don's number 5? Same as you, wasn't he, I believe?
Yeah, Donovan's number 5 is one Matthew Striker. For all the reasons I gave, because he didn't give reasons behind them.
So, number 4, it's difficult, and it's not difficult for me because there is a few that I'd like to throw in there. I think, Michael Cole is another one that's for me now in the business, a legend. And I'm going to go as far as saying that. And I think he's great, but he's not going to make my top 5. So I'm going to give him an honourable mention at this point. And I'm going to stick to the 4 people that really, for me, are commentary when I think teams. And I'm going to do them in a certain way. And this is what makes it hard. So I am going to go with Jerry the King Lawler here at number 4. Okay. Jerry the King Lawler was the excitable bastard heel that would make everything great, like on the back of his partner's comments and play-by-play. King is incredible at commentating. He was great in the ring, as we all know, but he really did transition behind the desk in the gimmick, lived the gimmick, was the gimmick, breathed the gimmick, did it all. Jerry the King Lawler, number 4.
Can't mind at that. Obviously, he's going to be an honourable mention for myself, as I've stuck with play-by-play, and play-by-play. So my number 4 comes from, well, 3 little letters, really. That's the biggest point for me. One, Joey Styles. Joey Styles, for me, was just like, it was amazing. Flicking over to Bravo on a Friday.
Yeah, man.
Like, listening to fucking Joey, getting those old video cassettes, and the quality was always dead shit. Because ECW TV was dead shit.
Living dangerously.
It was fucking amazing. But Joey Styles did something that I'd never seen before watching wrestling all the time of my old age. I was watching wrestling. Joey Styles would call that start to finish on his own. And he would do it sometimes. Like, he'd be giving you the play-by-play, and then all of a sudden he'd flick to colour and then back again. And he'd do it effortlessly. That's a word that I could not say.
It's a real word as well.
And it's a real word, yeah. He punched JBL.
He did.
I'm just going to put that on top of it. It's got nothing to do with how good he was at the desk, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Now, Joey also liked to get salty, and Joey did get salty later on in his career at the E with with WWECW, and it came out on commentary, and it was funny as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
Joey Styles was amazing for me. So Joey is my number 4. Joey also makes Don's list, but Joey
doesn't
Styles,
make my list.
I wouldn't think he would. Joey comes in on number 3 for Don.
Michael Adamley didn't make my list either.
You're not comparing the two.
Not that I'm comparing the two. I knew that your brain was going to do that, by the way.
Oh my God. Mike Adamley. I mean, that's a legend within himself right there. And I did...
Jeff Harvey.
You did, honestly, just all witness me have a minor anxiety attack then.
Deep breaths, deep breaths.
I'm just going to keep moving. So my number 3... my number 3 is one Tony Schiavone.
Nice.
I enjoyed Tony. And going back to flicking back and forth, on a Friday night, because I didn't get to flick back and forth on a Monday night.
You're right. Friday night.
Flicking back and forth on a Friday night, Tony was the voice. There was 2 voices for ECW that dragged me in. If neither of those voices I heard when I flicked over, some shit better be going on in the ring. And it was Bobby Heenan and Tony. If I didn't hear either of them, I'm just going to watch the rest of the adverts.
Unlucky tonight.
You know what? This will upset Don. I don't think today is as good as people think he is. Man can bring some stats, but
your whole gimmick, I love it.
Yeah, it can bring my whole shit. But I didn't find Mike that entertaining. He's on my honorables because he's good at what he does, and he brings that fucking. But I'm not talking about him. Fuck him, Tony Schiavone. I was a WWF guy like you, but I would flick back and forth. And Tony was one of them voices. When I think back to WCW and watching WCW, I think of Tony Schiavone.
Yeah,
he's the voice of WCW for me, and more than anything, that has been the biggest thing. And even watching Tony today, you can still bring it.
Yeah, you can.
You can see some of the drop off on Tony, but it's still that good, and he still holds an audience. And if you're holding an audience of today's caliber, where they have 0 attention span, you're doing something right.
That's very, very true.
Tony makes my number 3.
Okay, my number 3 then. This is probably where I'm like ooming and ahhing over how I play this. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Gorilla Monsoon at number 3.
Nice.
I am. Absolutely. Nice. How much does this guy weigh? Would you stop it? He was just incredible. Absolutely fantastic. The voice of WrestleMania in the very early days for me, Gorilla Monsoon. You know, Andre Hogan. From there, Gorilla is all over WrestleMania, all over it. Every single one of them, pretty much. And as you know, WrestleMania 8 being my first WrestleMania, it's a common thing that I mention. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but the team that night included Gorilla Monsoon.
Aye,
And
laddie, you have.
that is why Gorilla Monsoon has a special place in my heart. On top of the fact that he was just such a fucking big personality and a legend. In 1996, when I got to watch wrestling on a more regular basis, on a weekly basis, the geezer was the fucking commissioner type figure, and Vader battered him, and I was fuming, absolutely fuming, dead pissed off I was. I'm glad
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels stomped on your head at SummerSlam. I ain't gonna lie. Rest in peace, you big bastard. I love you. Anyway, Gorilla Monsoon, number 3.
I can't be mad at that. Cannot be mad at that. And if anyone is, they can go and fuck off. You like to point out how much older I am than you. So obviously, Gorilla is a voice of my childhood. Like, you know, Gorilla and Bobby for me was the team. Like, it was fucking amazing. Obviously, he's on my honorables because why wouldn't he be? Fucking Gorilla was amazing. I absolutely loved them back in the day. Will you stop? Was just loved it. Even with Jesse as well. Him throwing
No,
back and forth with Jesse.
and Jesse goes on the honourables for me. Like,
Yeah,
there's a few, but I'm gonna
yeah.
try and not do them as
So,
much.
uh, Mr. Donovan, as I don't know why I just closed that down. Let's go back to Donovan. So, oh no, we did Don's, didn't we? Joey Styles was his number 3, so we
Yes.
can keep going. Yeah. So,
Okay.
what's your number 2?
Oh, number 2 is the other part of that partnership, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, that was what I was umming and ahhing over. But I'm going to give a couple of honourable mentions to some of the play-by-play, not the play-by-play, the colour guys. They're the ones that didn't make my list, but did a good job across
Yep.
the years, including Taz. I really enjoyed
Yep.
Taz.
100%.
Um, Especially the Raw and SmackDown split. I think he was great. I think CM Punk could have done a lot more on the commentary desk than he was allowed to and did.
Great shout. Great shout.
It would have been interesting to, not in his current mindset, but see him as a commentator.
Yep.
When he was very passionate about it. Mick Foley was all right, but didn't do a lot. Dusty Rhodes was fantastic for his own crazy reasons, if you will, on the commentary desk. Jim Cornette gets a shout out. I've got loads of shout outs. I'm not going to lie, I'm JBL, he gets one. He's on there too. I liked him.
What about your twinsy Booker T?
No, no,
He's
no.
shit, eh? He? Fucking
Yeah, it is.
He's just shit.
And some people might look at this honourable mention, as a play-by-play, but when I listen to him, he replaced King at the end of the day. So Paul Heyman, I'm going to count as a colour honourable mention as well.
Well, like
But
his days in WCW with Jim, when he was next to Jim Ross on the desk,
you see what I'm
he,
saying?
he was very in between both.
There you
He
go.
was colour play by play. So yeah,
And obviously we mentioned Jesse Ventura as well. He's up there too for the
yeah.
honourables. But back to my choice for number 2, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yep.
He, again, was the partner to Gorilla Monsoon. He had a great partnership, I feel, with Tony Schiavone and even Mike Tenay too. So he proved that he could do it with multiple people, in a different style, because it was never the same. And the more he drank and things like that, and the more he didn't give a fuck in WCW, sometimes was a good thing, other times was a bad thing. But his legacy of work as not only a manager, as a commentator, is, undoubtedly unmatched. And that is why he's number 2 for me.
You'll never hear me argue anything about Bobby unless he's on somebody's worst list. Bobby Heenan's fucking amazing. My number 2 is the person you mentioned on your honourables earlier, My number two. Now this is where I nearly broke my own list.
Yeah.
Because I had two people, and the two people for my number two are current SmackDown and Raw announcers. So my number two was a toss up between Corey Graves.
Yeah.
And the person I ended up going with, because I wanted to stick more to play by play than anything else, and I've gone with Michael Cole.
Yeah. Okay. Pat
Michael,
McAfee and Corey Graves, by the way, just while we're on the current crop of commentators, you know, I didn't mention Corey, and I feel like I've shit on him a little bit there, to be honest, because I think he's fucking fantastic. And actually, when I've changed my list, like my first draft, Corey was in that list.
Yeah.
But I think the difference with the modern era of WWE, those colour guys, and I'm specifically talking Corey mainly. Pat McAfee was great too, but they've made the product, because while Michael Cole was being chained, they wasn't.
Yeah.
Whereas it's now the other way around, and I'm sure you'll go on to that now with
well, I'm gonna start with Corey on about. I wanted to start a bit with Corey because I absolutely love Corey anyway. As a wrestler, Corey was fucking amazing. Like, you've only got to look at the guy as an appearance, and people that know me, that's my kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like, I did fanboy for him. I'd put him on my list of I would fuck you. Like, love him. But Corey had a chance after his career got cut short to do something on comms, and in NXT, and they went, you know what, just do you. Do it as you, be you, uncensored, go for it. And he did. And he did it fucking well. And when he come forward and managed to step foot then to the main roster as it is, obviously he got held a little bit, but then he had Michael Cole to direct him, and he just went off at it. And he is the only person on colour now that does it differently to everyone else. He understands that heel shit, but can still keep you within there's no baby and heel anymore.
No.
We're all the same. And he can bring it back and forth on that. And I absolutely love Corey Graves. Absolutely love him. But going back to my number two, the person that took it for me in the end was Michael Cole. And Michael Cole, initially, as we all know and loved him, he used to get tortured by everybody, and I fucking loved it because he come in as a reporter. He was a genuine news reporter, and he brought him in to do his shit, and he was good at it, and he played off the guys well. The guys played off him fantastically because how straight he was. Then when they stuck him on the desk, he was on was it the first hour of Raw, or was it like the?
So it was while Jim Ross
eventually
had
became
his,
the first, So like, he had that little bit, didn't he?
cerebral palsy. And he took over full time, to be fair, because they tried other people too.
Yeah.
But no one got it right like Michael Cole. So most of 1999, Michael Cole spent on the desk.
Yeah. Well, you look like his initial coming up onto the commentary. He did the heat stuff. He did, like you said, the 99. They used to do the pre-Raw fucking gimmicks that he'd do. So you think Michael Cole worked straight from Michael Cole got on the job training straight up. He had it all. And then he took over SmackDown, and I was like, he's dead good. He's dead good on SmackDown. And Taz, to give that
dead
mention.
Good on SmackDown.
Like,
really good team.
Commentary team for me. That froze. Those were the SmackDown commentary team for me. Taz and Michael Cole.
Absolutely.
It was amazing. And then Michael Cole became the person that took JR's job on Raw.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I dislike Michael Cole from then.
Absolutely.
I couldn't not dislike him.
No.
Like, you took away the voice. We'll get to number one. But like, that was the thing. Like, I could, no matter what, Michael Cole still did a great job. Now I can look back at it all now and watch it now, and I can see how good Michael Cole was.
Yeah.
And
as a heel,
and then when he was become a heel as well,
a heel play-by-play.
Fuck me, you hated that guy so much. You hated him, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But then you look at, like, more recently, before the disappearance of Vince, Michael Cole had the most difficult play-by-play job because he was constantly being fed shit from Vince.
Yeah.
Constantly being told, sell this.
Can't use this word.
Don't use that. We're going here. Say this. Don't do that. Sell this. Don't do that. Sell this. And he's got to do all that while still trying to give you the play-by-play, and he did so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, if you watch it now under the Triple H era, he's let loose.
Yeah.
He's got tenure now, he can do it. He runs the commentary and he's fucking good at his job. So apologies to Michael Cole for hating you for a little while. Well done, Michael Cole, for making you hate you for a little while after that. And he's my number 2. And Don's number 2 is Excalibur. I'm not even going to spend time on that. So, number 1s.
He's building a reputation. I'm going to spend a little time on it, not too much, but I'm going to say he's building a reputation, and he's a standout on the product, the other product, the one that's apparently all elite. And he does a good job. Is he top 5 worthy yet? I don't think so. Don does. I'm sure he could explain that better if he was here.
Yeah.
But not for me.
Excalibur's on my I'm going to shout out. He's not an honourable mention. He was on my shout outs because, like
one
we
for
said,
the future.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. He's doing a good job, but he ain't there yet.
You could say that about Vic Joseph, right?
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the, as we
Paddy McGuinness. Let's talk about him.
Paddy McGuinness, Nigel McGuinness.
That's the one.
Yeah.
No likey, no likey.
I'd love to see him on comms. What the fuck the Undertaker do?
Him and Freddie thinks of calling a fucking wrestling match. That would be up there with Bobby and Gorilla, that would, mate.
Fucking hell, Freddie, do you see what Undertaker just did to him?
I can't believe, Paddy. Paddy, I can't believe. Can you believe the crowd, Paddy? I don't know why I've gone Scottish / Irish / Welsh.
Well, what can we say? All the voices and all that. Beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, Nigel McGuinness gets a little mention too.
He's all right.
He was all right, he was.
Like, UFC commentators are good, by the way, as well. Like Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier. I love Cormier. Great. And
Bisping.
Bisping, man, yeah. Bisping's fucking class.
Quality.
So if we're talking the world of commentators, we could go on and on. But I'll tell you what, those 3, considering this is a wrestling podcast, they get honourable mention.
Yeah. Better than the commentary team we get on fucking FIFA 23. Let's not start that.
Ronaldo could be on that next year at this rate, looking for a job, but we'll get to that on Shooting the Breeze.
So my number 1 is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably the same as yours. But my number 1 was actually Don's number 4. Hat wearing, stammering,
barbecue loving,
greatness. Oh, barbecue loving, book writing, Jan loving, because he loved that one.
Loving, yes, Craig. Oh, I love that reference. That was dead good.
Go for it. Jim Ross, JR.
Hit that Oklahoma music.
I don't know if that was probably not. Best not. Keep it down. Less than 5 seconds, you're fine. But...
Rumour has it. I heard a rumour.
Do you know? I know you're guy. So, JR, obviously, as soon as this came up, there was no other name that was going to come on this top of this list for me, like at all. It's the man. Like, this is the voice of Raw. Literally. This is the voice of some of the biggest moments, the most memorable moments in wrestling. Granted, there's been some changes, and I'll be honest, like, there's been some moments where I've watched something and gone, fuck me, I thought JR called that. Because in my head, when I've watched, I'm hearing JR a lot of the time. So a lot of these commentators, they're probably shit. It's just I'm hearing JR, so it's okay. But it was fucking amazing. Like, those calls that JR made, as small or big, were amazing. Like, simple as Stone Cold. He said his name 3 times, and fuck me, it's one of the biggest calls ever. He's a great one, which I loved at the time as well when it happened. Does he have a conscience? Does he have a heart? Does he even have a soul? Triple H, the cerebral assassin at this point, like, it pushed him so far.
Triple H made, Jim Ross made Triple H the heel. Not 100%. A heel. The heel.
Everyone says JR is the lyrics to the music.
That
Go on,
bastard.
100%. Jeff Hardy in the ladder match against The Undertaker. Don't be wrong.
Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
Make yourself famous. It was fucking amazing. JR made it so, and we all know Hell in a Cell. Come on, that shit is shouted out everywhere.
My God, he's broken in half.
Good God, almighty. They killed him.
Yeah.
Like, it's brilliant.
They've killed him. Direct quote to Vince McMahon, that was.
Yeah. Fuckers.
You
What's
fucking
going on?
bastards, you've killed Mick.
But honestly, I don't even know what else to say about JR. He was just that fucking... He was amazing. I love JR.
He's
and
number
his
one.
book is amazing. He's number one. It's simple as that.
Who did Don go with as number one then?
You need to ask. Well, the people out there would, wouldn't they, obviously? So, for all you people out there that don't watch the show, evidently, or listen to Don speaking, Don loves Mike Tenay.
And that was Don's number one.
Yep.
Play-by-play honourable mentions. Do we have any? I've mentioned Vince McMahon. I think Gordon Soley has to get one for all the stuff that he did in professional wrestling before we were around, sort of thing. Eric Bischoff, I'm going to give him a shout out for play-by-play. I thought he was really good. You had Shivani. He would have been one of mine. Kevin Kelly and Josh Matthews, do they get on there nowadays?
You know what? Josh Matthews was actually all right. Like, don't forget, we got him on SmackDown for a little bit, didn't we? Josh was pretty good at times.
I like Todd
lost.
Grisham back in the day.
Oh, Todd was
I
great.
thought he was all right.
Todd was great. I know it's colour rather than thingy, but and you probably don't watch Lucha Underground, but Vampiro was really fucking good as well in that role. So fucking I don't know if he still does, whatever, but quality little shout outs as well. I've got no one extra. We have literally covered all them now.
What we got next week then, Craig?
Well, this is where we need to spin a wheel, don't we? So if you spin a wheel,
we spin a wheel, we make a deal, and then we have to put 5 things down and try and explain why we like them.
Well,
that's the concept. It's not too hard.
It ain't difficult, people. Fucking hell, keep up. And then you lot hit us up over here.
But you know what, Craig? They're all pussies. They don't do it.
They're all scared, mate. They're all scared to put their list on.
They ain't got the bollocks to put their list on.
They're all worried that if they put a list on, fuck me, that's close. Okay, that's what we're going with. So the wheels finished spinning. It's all right. It stopped right on a line in between two. And it stopped between promo and valet. And it landed on valet.
Okay.
So top 5 valets, people. This one, I don't think should be too difficult. But at the same time, it's going to be fun.
The slick count. Anyway, find out next week on top gimmicks. I've been Rob Campbell.
I am your bastard, and I definitely love Slick. Craig Challoner.